Thank you very much.
Great.
Yes, so we have all our panelists. I apologize all participants for waiting for our technical issues. Welcome, Roberto. And Michelle again asked me to ask all panelists to smile because she wants to do some screenshots. So this is the message. Okay. So I made some introductions. So Ileana, if you want to start with Olga.
All right. Well, also I have some difficulties over here. Thank you, Izabela, Wright, NABOR Global Council and their members. Thank you, President Lauren Mello and the CEO, Mari Manion, for Naples Board of Realtors for your interest in global real estate and partnership, NAR alliances. Good afternoon, buenas tardes a todos, a happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope you're celebrating and having at home safe. And my name is Ileana Bogaert. I'm the NAR Global Ambassador for Brazil, Colombia, and Chile. And today I have the pleasure to have with me, and this also accompany us, Bethsy Sachs, NAR Manager of Global Business and Alliances and Member Experience Engagement. And also she is in charge of this alliance, NAR Alliance with AMPI Mexico, and also other associations throughout Central America. And she works and collaborates as well with the Global Ambassador for Mexico, Mr. Richard Miranda, and our regional coordinator, Carla Raymond, for this area, the Mexico and Central American areas. Also, we have as attendee our own Alejandro Escudero, Manager of Global Alliances and Business Development for South America. I want to tell you a little bit about NAR, our Global Business and Alliances. We're a global team, and together with NAR staff, Global Ambassador, Global Regional Coordinators, and Global Ambassador Associations, we work together and collaborate in our efforts to build a global realtor network with cooperating associations in more than 85 countries and 100 associations worldwide. AMPI, today we're going to feature AMPI and President Roberto Barrios and Olga Jimenez. And, but these associations around the world, they follow a code of ethics that help you build your global strategy and partnership with the country of your interest. Our goal at NAR Global Alliance is to expand and to build awareness, to help the professionals and the association to work collaborative in an effort of the real estate profession. All these alliances, all these global alliances are under the direction of Mr. Joe Schneider, who is the Director of Engagement and Global Strategy at NAR in Chicago office. Well, this is a holiday that is very popular here in the United States. We have some myth. We have some information that we're going to provide to you. And Cinco de Mayo, and this is for all the CIPSs that are here listening to us, and also for those who actually would like to become a CIPS or are looking to enter into the global markets, real estate markets. Here we're going to have a little bit. We're going to have a little quiz at the end of the webinar. But this holiday is very popular here in the United States. It's also usually confused with Mexico Independence Day, which is on September 15th. And this celebration began in California, here the Cinco de Mayo theme in the United States started in California, and it's celebrated and observed annually and started since 1863. And it has become associated with a celebration of Mexican American culture. But I'm gonna let our experts, Roberto Barrios and Olga Jimenez, to tell us a little bit more about this special holiday. Okay, today, as mentioned, I have the pleasure to be accompanied with two special guests and friends from the AMPI Association, AMPI Mexico, which is the Mexican Association of Real Estate Professionals. Mr. Roberto Barrios is the president, 2020 president for the association, and Olga Jimenez, as Izabela mentioned, is also director for the AMPI South region in Mexico. Roberto, Olga, good afternoon, buenas tardes, bienvenidos. Es un placer tenerlos aquí.
Good afternoon to all of you. Thanks to invite us. We're so pleased to stay here.
Excellent. We are going to build another, we're going to expand, build alliance to Florida. I know Roberto was on the east coast of Florida this morning. Now you're on the southwest coast of Florida, right? So this is what it is. This is how we work. Yes, this is how we work together and collaborate. But Roberto, first, how are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo today?
Well, to be honest, we are in-house because of the COVID-19. Our government made mandatory to stay in home for all the people who are in the non-essential part of the economy. So we are in home, and to be very, very honest, we celebrated the Cinco de Mayo because it was a victory against the French army when they invade us in 1862. But it's much bigger Cinco de Mayo in the United States than in Mexico.
Correct. So everybody pay attention here, right? And sometimes I say that maybe, well, we'll talk about this after Olga said your comments.
Okay, well, and if I may say, it's also like the margaritas. Margaritas are very famous in the United States, not as famous in Mexico.
Yes. Roberto, before we, as the president, you're actually going through this crisis in Mexico, and I would like to have this opportunity to learn a little bit about AMPI. Talk about the structure, organization of AMPI, and that since when AMPI started this relationship with NAR.
Okay, well, in 1955, some realtors of Mexico went to the by then parent of NAR and tell them that they want to join them. And then we decide, we as Mexicans, then they decide to make a Mexican NAR, and they call it UMCAI. UMCAI was for the first 2 years. Then they changed it to AMAI, and this was so this was 56, the 14th of November, the day we found what is today AMPI. Then it was called AMAI until 1978, and it was only in Mexico City. In 78, Adolfo Kunz, one of our former presidents, decided that it was the time to invite all the realtors of the country. So right now, I am very happy to tell you that we have 84 sections divided in 25 regions in the 32 states of Mexico.
All right, perfect. So just to relate to what we have here, the sections will be, I'm assuming that the associations, right? What we call here each
they
association.
They are local associations.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Is the profession regulated in Mexico? In order to act as a real estate professional, is it required to have a license?
AMPI has been pushing a lot to have regulations and to have licenses, realtors, and we already have been successful in 19 states. 19 of the 32 states have a professional regulation in the real estate, and we are working with the other 13. So we hope we will eventually have it. The laws in Mexico said that kind of regulations is for the states and not the federal government. But when we finish, we will be able to have, because we are working on that, pushing on that, our registration area in the federal government for all the people who have license in the states.
All right. So it is actually 19 out of 32 states already have a licensing requirement
That's correct.
to act as a real estate professional. And question, is this license actually, is AMPI the one who actually, is the license actually AMPI the ones
I couldn't hear you because of my dog.
Is that your dog?
Yeah. Well,
Bring it
Oh,
over.
gosh.
Let's see him.
Oh, God.
Right.
you were telling me.
Is it the license? The license is provided by AMPI or is it by a regulator?
No. The state will be the regulator, not AMPI.
The state is the regulator.
Yes.
How many members does AMPI has?
For 4,500.
4,500?
Yes. 4,500, yes.
Is this a natural or is an entity? Or is are there actual independent real estate professional or is a company or they're?
No, most of them own companies. Like Olga and myself, we are members, but we own a company.
Right. Yeah, like in comparison here with NAR, so NAR we have both. We have the actual real estate professional. Once they acquire their license from the state, as you're mentioning in Mexico, that gives you the opportunity to take that license and put it under a brokerage firm that belongs to an NAR association, and that's the reason why we are called realtors. Or that license that is the state can be actually put together in a developer or a builder and work with salary under the salary compensation format. So in AMPI, do we have realtors as members or real estate agents?
No,
Because we
have,
know the
all of the members of AMPI are real estate agents.
some of them become international realtor members, like you and Olga and others that we see each other on NAR conferences, global and conference meetings. And you also are an NAR director, right?
Well, would you hold for a second? Let me call the maid so she can take out the dogs. Cindy!
Yes.
Cindy!
Sácalos,
Sácalos.
In the meantime, for you that are listening, you can actually enjoy a margarita or a drink.
Margarita! Oh, that's gonna be happy hour. That's right. It's a lovely.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't made my margarita yet.
Yeah, there is no margarita for us. You should tell us. You should tell us.
Yes. So, and we were talking about 4,500 companies that are members from AMPI, and most of them are very active and follow with these global alliances with NAR and partnerships that we have together. And we are actually providing CIPS courses and designations through AMPI, right?
Right. We've been so lucky to have Richard Miranda in a lot of sections, or as you say, associations, giving this wonderful course and certification. Yes.
Yes, and this is what is actually helping us today. This morning, you were talking about the opportunities, the challenges that we're facing through this pandemic and COVID-19 that's bringing to us the new normal, and also that is going to bring us a lot of opportunities if we actually take advantage of all these courses, the certification designations that through NAR, AMPI is entitled with this partnership, right?
Right. What I was saying is that we need to be together and join forces, because we really don't know what is going to happen when this pandemic ends and the economic crisis that come along with it and also. But what I was saying is that we have record low interest rates in the loans, and and that we need to make segments of the market. In Mexico, low income families can get for this year 500,000 loans from the government through two ways. One is Infonavit, which is the institute of housing for the workers, and the other one is, and they have 400,000 loans, and also the FOBISE, who is exactly the same, but for the people who work for the state. And among that, we have record of low interest loans by the bank in this year, and one-digit loans, and they also make it to 20 years. So we should be selling a lot of low-price houses and medium-range houses. What happened is that the crisis, we already had a crisis when this sanitary crisis started. Last year we didn't grow. We lost about half a point of the national product growth, and this year it has been terrible. But we hope that when this thing ends, we will be in a good position to return to the good market. But we really don't know when that is going to happen, because as I was saying this morning, there is no vaccine and there is no medical cure with medicine. And so right now we are in the top of the wave. We'll go down, but eventually, if we don't have vaccine and medicine, people will get sick again, and we will go for another big wave. So that's what I was saying this morning, and what is the truth. So we will be ready when this thing happens to rebound the market.
Right. So, and we're going to go back to this topic about opportunities, because, as you know, obviously, we are a global, realtors are global, and there's a lot of opportunities worldwide, because we're going to see a trend of preference and investments, or where to invest, and there's a lot of opportunities. This afternoon, Roberto was with also with Ramon Riera, for president of Bethsy in Europe, and they were discussing different, but opportunities are there. The banks, for areas in Mexico that you're interested in, we have foreigners living as expats in different areas in Mexico. So there are also a lot of opportunities to invest and loans available for those who want to have customers looking to invest in Mexico. And also that's the beauty of these alliances, that also they have customers. That's what we are building these alliances. So their customers, for AMPI members, customers who want to invest in the US or any other part where we have a strategic partnership, we can connect them and make a successful transaction. And then Roberto, stay by, and then we'll go in with a little bit of history about this special holiday, Cinco de Mayo, with Olga. That I have mentioned a little bit of the highlights that are points of the holiday here in the United States. But Olga has her uncle is a very knowledgeable and versed for the history of Mexico. And she's gonna tell us a little bit about the story, the real story about this holiday. Hello, Olga,
hello.
Bienvenida, welcome. And please tell us the actual story about this special holiday.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Naples Area Board of Realtors, for the invitation. Thank you, Izabela, Bethsy, Ileana. Thank you for all the organization of this meeting. Anna, Chayenne, and also President Roberto. Thank you for being here. Well, actually, as you said before, Cinco de Mayo. It's not our Independence Day. It was September the 16th, and it happened 50 or 60 50 years after, before that. And today, we were looking at the Twitter, and we do not take taco balls as a festivity anyway. And it is such a difference. In Mexico, I would like to talk to you some highlights about this important festivity in our country. First of all, it's a start with Soledad Convi. This convi gave to President Juarez government recognition as our legal nation representative. His convi also established that no one of the world power countries could take advantage in our territory or intervention in Mexican business affairs, among others. Mexico allowed English, Spanish, and French troops established in Veracruz to move to other lands where the weather conditions were better because the yellow pest had been causing health problems to their soldiers. French troops were able to go to Tehuacan, Puebla, the Spanish troops to Orizaba and Cordoba, Veracruz too, and English troops stayed where they were by their government's order. The invaders declared that in case of any hostilities open, they could go back to Veracruz port. The next highlight is those convies were finally broken by France, who showed their ambition to take over the country and establish an independent government. With this, they were also breaking the convention signed in London by Spain, England, and France. Plus, they weren't respecting the agreement of returning to Veracruz if they were choosing war. On April 1862, English and Spanish military forces left Mexican territory, having acceptance of negotiation affairs with Mexico. Just French troops decide to go on with the invasion, and having as their first and great objective the taking of the city of Puebla. The Mexican debt to France, England, and Spanish was the excuse to start London Convention. The French government was the one demanding the smallest debt pay compared to Spain, England, and France. France debt to Mexico for France debt was for 2.8 million versus Spain was 9.4 million and England was 69.9 million pesos. On the other hand, on 4 December by that year, the Mexican Congress had given the President Juarez extraordinary faculties to drive the crisis caused by intervention and possibility of war against any of the world power countries. The commander-in-chief of French military force, who was around 6,000 soldiers, decided suddenly attack the Mexican forts. It's called Loreto and Guadalupe. He considered that Mexican troops were not capable to fight against the best military troops in the world, the French army. The general-in-chief of French troops, Count of Lawrence, had to order the withdrawal when there were only 8% of casualties within this army because of the resistance they found by the Mexican army, which was commanded by General Ignacio Zaragoza. This ends with Puebla's triumph. General Ignacio Zaragoza wrote to the President Juarez, which is a lovely, I love this message, which says, the national army has been covered by glory, he wrote, and also said, the French soldiers fight with gallantry, but the commander-in-chief her clumsy actions. On military aspects, Mexico's army triumph proved that now there was a strong bond of union among the Mexican people and the government, that the troops France had in Mexican soils weren't going to be enough to defeat the Mexican government and take over the national territory. In means of this, Napoleon III sent reinforcements and changed the army's commander. On psychology aspect, this victory lifted the spirit of many Mexicans who were used to the abuse and attack of European power countries. Now they knew they could defeat one of the more well-prepared armies in the world, such as the Gauls. Mexico had a whole year opportunity to prepare his army and wait for the next year attack. Puebla was taken on May 1863. Among other things, the guerrillas were formed to become an obstacle to the French troops. This also delayed the search for a French prince to come rule the country as a monarch. Finally, they got Austria Archduke Fernando Maximiliano de Habsburgo to accept the throne under the protection of Napoleon III. All of these facts contribute that Juarez, other foreign countries, and even the Mexican people realized the unfair invasion suffered and to bring into notice for the first time in 40 years of Mexicans' independent life that as Mexicans, the lesson we learn is we are an unique nation capable to overcome the biggest obstacles and fight for our freedom in the context of nations. For the Mexican history, this festivity was an inflection point because in spite of French intervention and almost cartoons French Empire, these issues contribute to gather us, a nation, and to eliminate or at least diminish the elements that were against the Mexican progress, as was said in 19th century by that time. So these 1614 highlights, I think we can explain in few highlights the history and why it's so important for our country, this festivity. It's not our Independence Day. It happened 50 years before in 1810. It is one important moment in which our country could be united, could have they knew that they can be against any military or army in the world. And it was very important for our country. On the other hand, it happens in parallel in America and the United States was in the Civil War by that time. So they were very occupied, the states were very occupied in the Civil War, and they used this time to try to have colonies in America. That's why it's very important for us, this festivity, and thank you to Enrique Núñez for these highlights that he shared he wrote for me to share with you.
Thank you, Olga. So for those who were paying attention, we're going to do a summary. So it's just actually Cinco de Mayo, it's a battle that the Mexican government won against the French Empire, correct? And it was under the generals Ignacio Zaragoza, right? And it was obviously the battle of in Puebla. So three important facts. Was the battle, yes, from Mexico against the French army.
French troops.
It was French troops. May 5th, 1862, under the leadership of General Ignacio Zaragoza. It was the big victory, the Mexican army and the first time. And that's probably why maybe Roberto and Olga, you tell me, that's why we have a lot of influence, so same as Spanish in our country, as well as French influence in Mexico, especially in the region where I'm from, Yucatan. We have a lot of French influence, and also in our vocabulary, also French words are used, correct?
Yeah.
And okay,
we
so
have to-
this was the second. That was the second battle that the French army won against the Mexico. And sometimes I will say that instead of Mexico were famous for the tacos and France for the crepes. Sometimes it will be a combination. We'll be eating like crepes instead of tacos in Mexico. But with something that we were very proud that we in Mexico they won this battle, and it's a history or part of the history. But the Independence Day is, take a note, September 15th, and that's the real Mexican Independence Day. But Roberto, we're gonna go back a little bit with real estate practices in Mexico. Is Mexico have an MLS?
We are right now, as we speak, our Commission of Technology of AMPI is making our new CRM, that a very strong one, to give it to our sections, as you say, associations, free. We've been having MLS in the past, didn't work very well, but we are right now working. Look, in this pandemic, AMPI has been giving free courses by Zoom twice a week for the past 4 weeks, and we will keep doing it. And also we are developing our new technology system. That is because when this thing happened, we want to have better realtors with more academic preparation, and we'll have a much better technology tools. Yeah, we have MLS. Right now we are building a new CRM.
Yeah, but I mean, the purpose here in the US is that we realtors cooperate among us, each other. But I think even though that in AMPI right now, they don't, not everybody have an MLS, that let's say spirit of professional cooperation among real estate professionals, AMPI members, that do exist, correct?
Correct.
Do you exchange information and in order to take this?
And even to share commissions. If one has the seller and the other one has the buyer, we share commissions. We have that in our bylaws.
Okay, and how is AMPI collaborating or follow the government to this pandemic? And what are the things that are being implemented? Are you showing properties, or it is actually, or is forbidden, or because you haven't reached the curve yet, right? And I heard that
we will reach the curve, they say, the following weekend, and then we'll go down. That is what our authorities told us 1 week ago, and they repeat it every day, even today. So yes, we are going on a way to have probably more freedom. Also the government said today that they will add more economic areas to be able to work in these times. That is because we have a lot of factories that make pieces in a change of production with the United States and Canada. So we need to do it now, but not yet. We have exactly which of that areas will be, and if the real estate will be in that non-essential, we will be able to leave the non-essential area.
Right, and I have to say I'm very impressed how they actually taking control of the situation, especially I'm here in the Yucatan right now, and I've seen that they are following the guidelines. They're wearing everything that's social distancing, taking care of the precautions. Their restaurants are closed, all these deliveries. So it is very important that we all follow these guidelines and precautions to actually avoid spreading this and probably, hopefully, going back to business as soon as possible. Olga, tell us, you as a real estate professional, a realtor, international realtor, CIPS also, same as here. Tell us, how are you facing or in conducting real estate, transactions right now, or how are you evolving or implementing technology into your daily activities in order to continue as normal as possible with this, your real estate business?
Yeah, thank you. Well, we'll be I think 4 weeks before we start having a home office with all the people who works in our company. And we've been trying to learn to stay in different courses, even for, the different themes. That's great. Today, this morning, I was hearing a special panel who says that now this COVID-19 opened the opportunity to hear very important people, specialists on different things, talking about some of the constructions, architects, and experts on sales of different parts of the world. And we've been starting to, by this time, trying to prepare for, this is a shift, and we need to be prepared on what's going on. But we cannot say that we are going to do this one or that one, but because the story is still writing, we don't even know if the buildings needs to be changed with another LEED certification with windows or not windows, or we cannot say that if we're going to sell or not this or that kind of properties. So we are studying, we are preparing that. We are trying to continue the progress of the progress of the things where, for example, some developers who are building houses on following or carry on the process as much as we can do that. And I think this is important time to prepare our team, prepare ourselves, and trying to catch all the important information that experts in the world are sharing to us. I think it's a good time.
Exactly, and I think this is the time for us. We are here in confinement, but we can, and there's so much information, available information, good webinars through NAR, Wright tool. Right now we have certification and courses that we can actually, there is a discounted price or are available for free, like the ePro and price strategy advisor, that will actually complement our daily activities as a realtor. ePro is a designation specializing on technology, and price strategy advisor is how to use the techniques to actually come up with a market price to list our properties. And those are available through the NAR. If you're a member or international member of NAR, you are able to use these tools available to you. If you're not, you can become a member, and then you can and those are actually channeled through the associations that we have a partnership and we cooperate. And I don't know, and I mean, everybody, we're having a good time. We can stay here as long as, talking about all these alliances, opportunities. I know that in Naples, Southwest Florida, there's a big sub-representation of investor buyers in the areas of Florida as a whole, and in United States in different areas. Mexico is one of the 5 countries with the largest investments in of the NAR report, the home buyer activity report. There was Mexico, China, Canada, UK, and I'm gonna owe you the last one. I was thinking, but there is a lot of opportunities, and that's why these alliances are so important, and participation in these webinars are very important. And if you can actually get information with Bethsy, or if you have any question, NAR Global, you can go to nar.realtor/forward-global, and you can see all these alliances. If you have any particular country that you would like to connect and start your referral network or partnership, and you can go to that and you can look for the global alliances, and you can look for the country, find your global ambassador, and that they can help you with those incentives. You have a wonderful NAR global staff that is always there to help you. And Bethsy, do you want to mention something here before we if we have any questions for our panel, or our speakers, for Roberto and Olga, please, Izabela, just let us know.
Yes, I have a question from Carlos. What do the people in Mexico think about US having a Cinco de Mayo as holiday?
What does people from Mexico think about the celebration Cinco de Mayo?
Strong celebration here in US, because as you know, Cinco de Mayo is the celebration, this holiday, but not official in Mexico. So, and we celebrate very strongly. So, what
is your thing, Olga and Roberto? Your perspective that from a Mexican, what are they celebrating Cinco de Mayo over there? What do you?
Well, you know. First of all, we love it because we sell a lot of tequila for the margaritas and a lot of Corona beer. So yes, we love it. First. Second, we also sell a lot of avocados for guacamole. Not as many as in the Super Bowl, but so it's good for Mexico. We understand that for United States, gotta be a glorious day. When they were on civil war, as Olga said, that we were able to beat and expel, after 3 years of a lot of battles, the French army from Mexico. So because I bet that the America didn't want as a neighbor the French with an empire, with a Kaiser Napoleon. So I believe that is one of the first things. The other thing is that we, as countries, United States and Mexico, have been involved in a war in the 1846, 47, ended in 48. So instead of making things like that, it's a good thing to celebrate that we kick out the European country from Mexico. I believe that could be a very important thing. The other thing is that the Mexican independence was very long. I mean, it started, as Olga said, the 16th of September of 1810, but it ended the 27th of September of 1821. So there is a lot of people in Mexico that believe that the father of our country is the priest Miguel Hidalgo. Some conservative people believe that it's Agustin de Iturbide, the one who defeated the Spanish and kicked them out. So there is not a very important thing to celebrate than the 16th of September in the morning of the 16th. This priest gave what we say the grito de libertad. So I don't know, but yeah, it's sometimes we laugh that a lot of presidents in the United States invite the Hispanic community, as you say, instead of Mexican community, to the White House to celebrate the Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you. And I think that we, do we have any questions, Cheyenne, that I missed here? I don't think so. We had some message from Lydia, but I don't see this message, so I don't know if you can read it to us.
And while they're looking for the questions, we in Mexico like to celebrate, right? So we can celebrate several. We have the Cinco de Mayo also, and we have Independence Day celebrate as well, but also we have the Mexican Revolution, which is in November, right? So we have
the 20th of November.
So we get some.
Yeah, we do have.
We like party.
History. No, and also we have a lovely history, so that's why I think it's a lot of things to celebrate. And I would like to talk. I think for the Americans also, it's an opportunity in Mexico real estate markets anyway, because there are, you know, we were talking with Caribbean, with the Pacific areas in which many American people used to buy the second home. There are, I think there is important opportunities right now, you know, because of the now it's the dollar. I think there are some companies or sellers who are having a good price for dollar right now, and I think we can start having some affairs with any early as you know, to become more business together. I think it's an opportunity for you and also can help the Mexican real estate markets.
Yeah, and as Olga said, look at, we have a lot of Mexicans owning property in the United States, and also a lot of North American people owning houses and property in Mexico. We have a lot of Americans living right now or buying second homes in the beach through Tijuana to Ensenada. That is, let's say, from San Diego to 100 miles to the south. We have lot of American people living there, retired people. We have a lot of people who have second home condos in Cancun or in Los Cabos. So we have a big opportunity to make alliances. So probably we can help here your customers in the United States that you refer to us, or all the way around, we can refer to you Mexicans owning houses or property in the United States. Yeah, I believe that this is a big opportunity, and for the Americans, it will be a unique opportunity to buy low price houses in Mexico, because, for instance, in San Diego, a small condo can go to $1 million, and the same condo in the Mexican area go for 250, and it's the same sand, the same area, the same weather, and the same sea.
That's true. That's very true, and obviously with the exchange rate right now, there's a great opportunity. And waterfront properties, just like Roberto is mentioning, or farm homes, you can actually get extended, get a really nice property in Mexico. I believe we have more than a million Americans living in the U.S., right? As a second home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and also they are a lot of American communities, large American communities in colonial cities like San Miguel de Allende, and also in the lake of Chapala, a few miles from Guadalajara. There is one of the northern part of the lake is called a jijic for us, a jijic for you, and the newspapers are in English.
Yes. And Bethsy, yeah, thank you everybody. We're actually running out of time. We appreciate your time. But Bethsy, Wright Tools right now, can you talk a little bit what it is? And it's available through NAR and all the benefits.
It's available to the Wright Tools right now. It's available to all of our active members. It will be available through May 31st. We might extend the date. But as of right now, it's through May 31st. We have courses that are free. We have courses that are provided at a huge discount, 50% off for the courses. So it's a great time for all members to take a course that they always wanted to take. This is the time. We're at home, we're working from home. This is the best way to do it. So take advantage of the Wright Tools right now.
Thank you, and thank you. I'm gonna let, before we go, and before I give the word to Izabela, thank you, Bethsy. Thank you for your participation. Thank you to our President Vince Malta and our CEO Jeff Goldberg for all these wonderful tools that are putting available to the Realtor family, the international Realtor family as well. And thank you for Roberto, President Roberto Barrios, and Olga Jimenez, Director for the region South for AMPI section. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, Izabela. And I give you the last word.
Yes, in the name of our NABOR Global Committee, I really would like to thank especially our panelists. Muchísimas gracias por participar, por darnos tanta información. Yo creo que siempre aprendemos algo y hemos aprendido muchísimo. Y espero que eso vaya a ser empezar para nuestra buena relación. And so I also would like to thank everybody who participated, and I apologize for little technical problems that we had. We are recording this, so if anyone wants to listen this again or had some problems with connection, Cheyenne, we were gonna coordinate with Cheyenne this. And before we go, I would like to promote our next webinar this Friday. Is with Christina Davidoff. She's attorney and she's member of our committee, and David Altro about Canadians buying U.S. property Canadian way. He's the author of the book of the same title. So this is on Friday. You can find the information on our Facebook page. So thank you again, everybody, and stay safe. And
everybody, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Stay safe. Stay be well. Thank you.
Don't forget social distancing.
That's right.
Bye. Have a nice
Cheers
time.
and social distance. Yeah. Bye.